Welcome to my closet, where I don't have a lot of space. I'm sitting on a somewhat uncomfortable chair. My laptop is balanced on a hamper, and I have a microphone stand that I threw together and is all being held together with a wood clamp. So why am I in this small, uncomfortable space? Well, it's because I record a podcast produced by Discovery called Curiosity Daily. And up until now, this is where I've done it. This is the space I had in my house that was the most sound isolating, although I did have to throw some towels up on the walls. But that time is over because I am now going to build myself a little booth, a sound booth that I can use to record this podcast that doesn't involve, one, being uncomfortable in my closet, and two, taking up all of the space in my closet. All this stuff just stays in here pretty much all the time, and so I barely have room to move around. So let's take a look at the new space. This is where the new sound booth is going to be. Now, this isn't going to be the fanciest sound booth in the world. My house isn't actually all that noisy, so I don't really need to keep too much sound from coming in. I just need to make it so that my voice isn't echoing and bouncing around too much as I record. As it is right now, the walls in here are bare and hard, and I can hear the echo myself just talking. But I'm gonna build a box into this corner. So I'm gonna use two of the walls, and I'm gonna build two more, as well as a slightly lower ceiling. And it just has to be big enough that I can have a nice stand for my computer, a nice chair for me to sit in, and all of the other little things that I'm gonna need in there. I'll want some lighting, I'll want something that can hold the microphone, and probably throw a cup holder in so I can stop balancing that on a shelf where I'm about to knock it over every time I go in and out of the room. So how big does a sound booth need to be? Now, the ceilings in this room are 8 feet tall. That seems like a little much. I'm just gonna bring it down to about 7. I've still got room to stand, but it just encloses the space a little bit more. So that's the box I'm gonna be building, 6 feet by 4 feet by 7 feet. Let's get started. All right, I've got some 1/2-inch particle board, and that's actually what I'm gonna be using for the walls of this build. I'm gonna frame each wall basically in some 2x3 boards. And when I say frame, I mean I'm just gonna build a frame that lines up with the wall. And then I'm gonna move each of those pieces into the room where I'll attach them to the walls that are in there and to each other, and hopefully get a nice strong box that will hold itself together pretty well. It's not gonna look terribly pretty from the outside. The inside will have like the smooth texture of the boards, and I'll paint it to make it look a little better. In fact, the painting will probably happen before it goes into that room. So that's pretty much the plan. So I'm just gonna start cutting these down to the right size and attaching our 2x3 boards to make those frames. So you want to guess how many times I've framed a door before? If your guess is 0, you win. I am totally making up how to do this. I don't know what the proper way is. It doesn't really matter, because as long as the door is there, that's kind of it. That's all I need. It just has to be a door that opens and closes. So is it going to be pretty? No. Is it going to work? Probably. So obviously the next step is, I don't think I have to explain it, you guys know. Now, if there's anyone watching this video who's professionally involved in construction, I offer my apologies for the many things I may be doing wrong. Unless this ends up not working, in which case I do care, I deeply regret my actions, and I always did. Whoever designed this aspect of installing a doorknob, I want you to know, I hate you. Guys, I'm basically a professional contractor at this point. I install a door into a board, no biggie. It's just one of the greatest technical achievements known to mankind. That's all. Been working on the frames. Here's our beautiful ceiling piece. It's a rectangle with boards going around the edge. Now this is going to be the wall. I am currently working on building the frame for that, including a support piece. It's wide enough that it's made of 2 pieces, so I've got one larger piece, one smaller piece, and I'm just going to have a support beam kind of running right across that seam with screws coming in on both sides, kind of the way you put drywall into a stud. Got a little bit of extra lumber, and I'll see how sturdy things are. Like if I pick it up, I might throw in a couple cross pieces just to reinforce everything. All right, that is the 3 pieces. So kind of the next step is installing them, but because I don't want to paint them after they're installed, like it's so easy to paint things when they're flat on the ground. I think means we're at the painting step right now. All right, we got all the pieces painted. Time to move them into the room where the final sound booth is going to be. All the pieces are in the room. Time to move them into place, start attaching them. Going to start with the big wall. Got spots marked on the wall where I want it to line up, and time to start attaching it. Okay, I think I do want to put the ceiling up next. I brought this wall in 1/2 inch, the thickness of the board, so that 4 feet is here and not here. And I did that so that the ceiling can actually rest on top of that piece as we do all the attachment parts. I don't have a proper stud finder, so I just use a little magnet, and it does a really good job of finding the screws in the wall that are holding the drywall onto the studs. That's how older stud finders worked, is they just had a magnet in them. This is feeling quite sturdy. All right, the box is up. We've got all the walls, ceilings in place. I'm very happy with the size I chose. I'll be able to add those pads everywhere. It's gonna be pretty sound dampened. I'll have space for everything I need to do, but not too much space that it's like wasting everything. Still got a lot to do though. All right, I got all the lights and the foam up. It was definitely more of a hassle than I thought it was gonna be. It was taking some time to get everything done, and I had to keep recording for the podcast. And I was sick of being in my closet, so I just got this to a workable point. It doesn't have any of the stands, it doesn't have all of the things that I still need to add, but at least I could be in here instead of my closet. So there's still more to go, and yeah, I'm gonna have to remove some panels and replace them. That's fine. Just had to get it to where I could use it, and I did this morning, and it was so much better than being on that hard chair stuck in my closet with no space. So I'm already loving this, even though it's not done. This right here is my computer holding device. From right here to right here is the part you buy, and then I added on some mounting parts on this end, and this whole thing is like a tray that will hold my laptop. And the idea is that it can stay mounted in one spot, but I should be able to move the end with my computer on it kind of wherever I want. Reposition it, tilt it, twist it, up and down to get wherever I need to be. I want to use, like I said, both the spots with the studs and just the drywall anchors. So I'm going to drill a few marks where I can put drywall anchors in. Don't be right on the lights, it's right on the lights. All right, I've got the 2 mounting spots for when I'm standing, but most of the time I'm actually going to be sitting. So I'm going to bring the chair in here, figure out where I want to sit and where I want everything to be, and then mount it accordingly. This is my oh so very much better chair. It's padded, it's comfortable, it even reclines, which really isn't very helpful when you're recording a podcast, but it just makes me feel better in my heart. So this is about where I'm going to be in here when I'm recording, so I need my computer to just sort of be in front of me as I'm doing that. Somewhere about there, and then that's about the highest I would ever want it, I think. So somewhere around there, I think is a pretty good mounting spot. So it mostly works, but it can get so unstably balanced that it falls off. So I'll figure out something that secures this in place so it can't move. Probably just something that slides in here so it goes between this support beam and the bar that it's hanging off of. That should work pretty well. So now if I'm recording here, that microphone is too far away, so I need another closer mounting point for my microphone. So I was getting ready to attach the second cup holder, but I realized I can probably reach the first cup holder whether I'm sitting or standing. So I'll give it a go for a while. I don't know how much I'm gonna end up standing to record stuff. It may or may not happen. I think I'll try this, and if I'm doing standing sessions and I have my water there, and I decide it's just too much effort to reach slightly down to grab it, I've still got the other one. I can install it later if I want, but for now, I think that's gonna do it. It's in a good spot, and I can reach it either way. So yeah, let's get that vent installed. Just a little bit of airflow. That's all I wanted. Just a little. I think just a little bit of cleanup into here, making sure all the foam is sticking to where it's supposed to, and we're gonna be good to go. Off, off, on, red. Lights, advanced relaxation techniques. All right, I got everything cleaned up, inside, outside. It is all set up. It is ready to go. It is ready to record a podcast.
Oh, hello.
Also, Calli's here.
You're probably wondering why I invited you to my new recording studio.
It's not hers. You have your own.
I know, but this one's so cool. Hey!
No. Sitting there and think about what you did. So guys, I don't do the Curiosity podcast alone. I have a co-host.
Ta-da!
This is Calli. If you know who I am, there's a decent chance you know who she is as well. Calli, do you want to tell the lovely people out here about the Curiosity Daily podcast from Discovery?
Guys, the Curiosity Daily podcast is so much fun. We tell you about cool new life events. We tell you about science. We tell you about psychology. We basically get to tell you about the world around you and space and the ocean and really cool, just sciencey fun facts. It's a really, really cool show.
We talk just a little bit about each of these subjects. It's not something that takes up hours of your day. You just get smarter a little bit every day and quickly. Like the average podcast length is probably 15 minutes. Yeah. So it's great, you learn, and then you move on with your day and just get to think about all the cool things you learn. And this is where I'm gonna be doing my part of it.
This is pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie.
It's pretty fun.
The lights are my favorite part.
Lights.
This is fantastic.
They're not the highest quality of lights, but they do turn on. So
they do,
you know,
and they change colors.
They can change colors, sometimes even to the same color.
We were all recording the other day, and Nate just started changing the colors while we were filming the podcast. Guys, I filmed in a basement. He just built a sound booth. You win.
Well, your basement's pretty cool. I've been there. So guys, come listen to us as we host the Curiosity Daily podcast on Discovery. There are new episodes that come out on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I think you're going to like it, and you should tune in. It's available on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and I think pretty much
wherever you get your podcasts.
Everywhere you can get podcasts.